Hello and welcome once again to Breakfast All Day. We are at the beach. We are somewhere. Alonso, you took down your cute little background. Alonso had a cute little background in the beginning.
I did. I can put it back if you want to. Just say it, if I move, my shoulder would disappear or something weird. But yeah, I can.
I can't be the only one at the beach. Okay. Anyway, we are talking about a really lovely film that you can watch on Netflix. In the midst of all of this, there are still some excellent little gems to be found, one of which is Tigertail. Please describe it.
Which is in no way related to Tiger King. Let's be
They're
very
on the
clear.
same channel. But yeah, I wonder how many people will go click on Tigertail now on Netflix looking for Tiger King.
You know what? If they do, they'll be glad that they did.
Right? I hope they do.
I hope they stick it out. Yes. So it is about a guy named Pinjui, who is a Taiwanese immigrant to the United States, and we kind of get basically his life story in that as a child he was raised by his grandparents for a while, then went to live in the city with his mother, always dreamed about coming to the United States, had a girlfriend from his childhood, his sweetheart, who he wasn't able to marry, but the boss at the factory where he worked with his mother had a daughter who he wanted to send to the United States. So basically they had an arranged marriage. And now it's many years later, and he's back in Taiwan after his mother's died. And in sort of sorting through his own past, it helps him to try to create some kind of relationship that he's never quite managed with his older daughter. That the two have always had kind of a fraught relationship. I'll tell you, as the child of immigrants, this movie hit me hard. My parents' story is not quite like this. Their circumstances for coming to America were different, but a lot of the stuff about the things that shape your parents that we don't always necessarily know about until later, and how it affects the way that they themselves parent. And the past that they have, and the stories that they do or don't share with you, like all of that stuff. I just found this really gorgeous. It's written and directed by Alan Yang, who worked on Master of None. He also wrote an indie several years ago that I liked a lot called Date and Switch, which was an early Dakota Johnson movie. But yeah, this is just gorgeous work.
Beautifully shot. It's his debut feature film, and it's beautiful and pretty daring in some ways. There's a whole lot of Wong Kar-wai in this movie. It jumps around in time quite a bit, and there are just these sumptuously jewel-toned, richly hued, romantically lighted flashbacks to when he met the young woman who is the one who got away, Yuan, and they're dancing and they're smoking and there's albums on the jukebox, and it's so evocative. And just the use of a red dress with a blue light. It's theft, but it's lovely. But that's what I think is really ambitious.
Listen, if you're going to steal from one of the greats, right?
Exactly. And do something with the stolen goods.
I kind of admire the ambition of that. But even before then, the opening shot and the closing shot are so emotionally evocative, and they're wistful and so sad. And just from the very first image, and this is not a spoiler, because if you go and look at it on Netflix or you even see a trailer for it, you see this the shot of a little boy running through the rice
paddies
in Taiwan. And it suggests both loneliness and a sense of mischief all at once. There's a whole lot going wordlessly, very, very beautifully. Z Ma plays this character who goes by Grover, I want to say, as an adult in New York. And he was also the father in The Farewell. And he's somebody who is longtime character actor, been around forever.
Right. He's the Chinese general in Arrival. He's shown up in a ton of stuff.
Again, he's one of those guys. And in the last couple of years, he's had a couple of beautifully, really rich, meaty roles, much more substantial roles than perhaps we see him in. And that's been a real joy. He can do a lot just with his presence to suggest a sadness, a longing, a feeling of regret. This is a lovely, lovely film.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Christy. We've heard from the Golden Globes and the Oscars are contemplating a sort of a change in eligibility rules this year because of the situation. And when LA Film Critics votes, I really hope we're able to talk about this and we're able to talk about Crip Camp, even though neither of those films wound up having any kind of theatrical presence in Los Angeles, because they're really great.
All the rules get thrown out this year.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I could not love this movie more. This is a perfect film, in my opinion. And a lot of it is Zima. He's so good and so subtle. And you're right. He does so much with just his presence. And, there's scenes where, we find out relatively early in the film that his mother's passed away. And when we see him in America, he's just gotten back from the trip to Taiwan for the funeral. And, he lives by himself, and you kind of see him going through his routine just quietly, stoically. And then there's later in the movie, he reconnects with someone via Facebook, and you see how that changes him, but he doesn't it's not like he's dancing around. There's no demonstrative difference. It's just a little he's just a little bit straighter when he stands, and he's just moving a little bit faster, but not much. And he does so much with so little, and it's so moving that when this is one of the movies this week that had me doing a moment. This movie, and Alonso, you talk about how this is an immigrant story. It's also a story about somebody who has given up on something and sacrificed something and went a different way, and having grown up with someone, who made some decisions that, often had him looking, my dad had a lot of well, what if I had done this other thing? And you can see that in him. This also hits hard from that standpoint, because we see that his character, Sima's character, makes this, the young one makes a decision early on not to be with the woman that really brings out a whole different side of him. And it weighs on him, and the consequences of that decision, it's more than just the one that got away. He pursues a dream with an idea in mind that he's the only one that really sees that. And does it really get him what he thought he was going to get? No. And there's a tragedy there. The woman that plays his daughter is really good. Christine Coe. I'm sorry. Yeah. Christine Coe. She's really good. Yeah. You see what they have in common. Hayden Zetto plays the younger man.
Hayden Zetto is the boyfriend.
Oh, the boyfriend, right. Sorry.
He's barely in it.
Okay.
I wonder if his part was bigger, because he's credited really high up.
Yeah, maybe so.
I wonder if his part was bigger before.
Maybe so. I've absolutely loved this movie. It is subtle. I said that before. It's this kind of just quiet, matter of fact.
Hong Chi Lee plays.
Hong Chi Lee. He's very good. I mean, the entire cast is terrific in this. And
Joan Chen pops up. It's always good to see Joan Chen.
Joan Chen's great. Yes. There are some scenes that are definite, like the way that kind of the montage of the opening and closing of the deli is so terrifically done.
Yes.
Very well edited.
Right. The music in this movie is great. The theme music that kind of goes back and forth on the same theme that plays, with the violins between the daughter and the father, but then that kind of 60s era Chinese language soul music is so cool. This is a perfect movie. Again, I joked about this before. Like, if you mistakenly click on this, you're gonna be glad you did. And look, I know there's a lot of people who are watching are gonna think Tigertail. I have not heard of anyone in this. I don't know what this movie is. Please watch it. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie.
I also like the friendship that develops between the young bride who is lonely in New York and doesn't speak any English, and she recognizes that the other woman at the laundromat is probably also Taiwanese, and that kind of friendship and feeling an immediate connection with somebody when you're so far from home. I am not the children of immigrants, as you are, Alonso, but I found that there is a universality to the sensation that your parents had lives before they had you.
Yes, totally.
And the idea that they have secrets and that they might have stories to tell was also quite resonant, I thought. This is not necessarily autobiographical from Alan Yang, but it is inspired by the realization that he has parents who had a life and, you know, sacrificed for him. And he kind of wanted to explore that. So this is not his dad, but it's inspired by what his dad did in coming here from Taiwan.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, in fact, I'm going to go higher on my number the more I think about this movie and the more I reflect on the fact that I wept when it was over. I'm going to go higher.
The final shot is pretty devastating. I will agree with you on that. Okay, so I'm saying 9.
9.5.
9.5. Matt, you're saying 10.
It's perfect.
We've all changed our numbers.
So we're 9.5.
No, mine was 10 already.
Okay, right. Okay, that's true. So 9.5 is our number. Yeah, it's quite lovely. Go check it out on Netflix.
Yeah.
When you're not watching Trolls.
There are two extraordinary movies on Netflix right now. So like go back and watch Crip Camp, which we've already recommended, and definitely also go check out Tigertail. Yes, and thank you for watching us. You can like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel here. You can also follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and go visit us at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We're doing TV recaps. We do periodic reviews of classic films that our subscribers pick for us to talk about. Got to get a new poll up on that soon, actually. Anyway, so yeah, it's fun stuff. We hope you like it. If you've already joined our Patreon, thank you so much. We super appreciate it. And we'll be back with more next time. See you then.